the most populous and vibrant democracy in this world, India, it's going to polls. Citizens from various states in the country will elect their representatives to Lok Sabha over 7 phases of elections, starting the 19th of April all the way up to the 1st of June this year. And as we know, voting will be held in a phased manner.
Correct. Yes, of course. I have cast my vote and exercised my fundamental right as a citizen. I would also request all the citizens, especially the first-time voters, to exercise their right to vote.
Correct.
Interestingly, the Economic Times has estimated that almost 1.8 crore youngsters are the first-time voters in the elections of 2024.
Okay.
I also strongly urge all and indicate the youngsters to exercise their franchisee well, and everyone must vote for sure. Even if one is not even satisfied with the performance of any political party, it is mandatory to cast our vote. I would also like to bring to the notice of our viewers that while we are casting a vote, there is also an option which is called as none of the above, or simply called as Nota. So it means that one is not interested in electing any of the candidates who are contesting the elections. It also means that not voting for any candidate by voting as Nota.
I absolutely agree with what you said, Subhadra, about Nota. See, previously when votes were cast through physical ballot papers, and even up until after the electronic voting machines or EVMs were introduced, if citizens did not want to cast their vote, the Conduct of Election Rules 1961 mentioned that a register had to be maintained, wherein details of each of the voter had to be entered and the voter had to sign against his details, stating that he had renounced his vote, that he was not voting in favor of any party, was supposed to have been registered in that register.
Correct. Now, that is arbitrary and also in violation of the Article 21 of the Constitution of India, as well as the Representation of the People's Act of 1951, as it violated their right to secrecy as to whom they are going to they have casted their vote for. And simply because if whom they have voted need not be also revealed in any manner, then the fact that they did not vote for any person also need not be made public either. So maintaining a register of non-voters went against that.
Right. Subhadra, I would like to bring to your notice that the Supreme Court, in a very important case, the People's Union for Civil Liberties versus the Union of India, this was a 2013 case. The Supreme Court directed the Election Commission of India to introduce the none of the above, or Nota Button, in all electronic voting machines. By this, all voters had the right to exercise their vote, and it would also remain confidential. Now, the directive given by the Apex Court was that the right to vote included the right to not vote,
correct,
the right to reject a vote, and the right to protest vote by not voting. So basically, this was, you are not voting by voting. It's a paradoxical situation. Nevertheless, that was recognized as a fundamental right by the Supreme Court through this judgment. And hence, we see the Nota Button. And right after that, in 2013, Nota Buttons were introduced in all the EVMs.
Thanks, Sandhya, for that case law which you had discussed about how Nota came into existence. So we also need to understand the rationale behind introducing the Nota option as such. So first, it gives the voters the liberty not to vote for candidates they were not interested in.
Correct.
Second aspect, it also discourages the parties from fielding candidates who were corrupt or less credible.
Right. Subhadra, as I had mentioned, when in 2013, when the Supreme Court judgment came in, The notas were introduced at that time itself. What had happened is when they were introduced, there was a study which said that at the very first time, which when it was introduced in the 2013 polls,
Yeah.
more than 15 lakh nota votes were registered. I mean, that was a whopping number. Okay. So immediately when I was reading that, I was thinking what the Election Commission of India will do with such nota votes. That's the next most logical question that all of us will have. In that case, I'm given to understand that, well, let's assume for a second in a constituency, the number of nota votes are far more than any other candidate. In that circumstance, the Election Commission of India, through the rules, will declare the person who's got the second highest number of votes as the winner of that constituency. Okay, so then the question in my head was, and it's a burning question, will then casting a nota vote really matter?
Yeah. So the truth is, while nota votes may not count to that extent of number of votes which would stand reduce in each political party, the systemic negative vote will definitely force the parties to, rethink their governance policies and their representatives to a large extent.
True.
So the objective of this discussion itself is to encourage every voter to cast their vote, even if it is a nota vote, right? So conducting elections in a country of this kind of a size is not at all a joke.
Absolutely.
So therefore, the least we can do is vote and hope for the best candidate or the political party to take charge of the effective governance here.
Yes, yes. I'm going to go and cast my vote in the next round. So as you mentioned, I would request all our viewers, especially youngsters and first-time voters, to go cast their vote. So meet you at the other side of the elections. Okay. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.